Hey everyone, Kevin here. Just wanted to take a few minutes to share my thoughts on the investigation that we did at the Orpheum Theatre. If you know this place, then you know the history behind it. It's a big icon in downtown Twin Falls. And when Garrett called me and said that he got us the opportunity to go and investigate it, I was pretty excited. I remember seeing it the first time as a kid and just walking inside and seeing that stage, and I was just mesmerized. I'd never gotten the chance to see it play there, but I'd been able to go in and do a little tour of the Orpheum when I was a kid. It's a cool place, a cool piece of history that we have here in Twin Falls. And I think it was built in the 1920s. It survived a fire sometime before the 1940s that started in the candy shop. So there's a lot of history behind this place. The residents that they were talking about definitely make their presence known. One thing that I thought was really interesting about this place is there's so many nooks and crannies that I didn't know about. And a lot of them seemed like they were just left there with all the history, just waiting to be discovered. It was really cool to be able to walk through a lot of these places that the general public doesn't get to see, and experience a lot of the haunts that the general public doesn't get to see either. Just really cool experience. I didn't expect that we'd be there for as long as we did, but we were quite literally there till about 7 in the morning, I think, and we started at about 10 p.m. So there was just so much activity, and we just kept going throughout the night. And I think I maybe took a little nap sometime around 3 or 4 in the morning. I think I passed out on the balcony for a little bit, but it was just jam-packed. Overall, my impressions is the people that are in the Orpheum, the residents, they don't seem to like the manager. I think maybe they're a little intimidated by him. Activity seems to go down when he was with us in the investigations, and then when he left the room, it seemed to shoot back up again. So I don't know if it's whether or not they're scared to be kicked out of there, or they want to be on their best behavior when the general manager is around. Is kind of what I'm thinking is going on. But when overall there was a lot going on. Especially in the dressing room. I did have the opportunity to go inside the Hobbit door, as the actors call it, and it kind of just leads to a little room underneath the stage. And I was there all by myself for maybe 10 minutes or so, and I had the opportunity to do my own little investigation inside there. There'll be a video that comes with that, but it was kind of a creepy experience. Another thing that I noticed about the Orpheum is there's just so many sounds that I can't explain. There was no electrical equipment, no machinery around us that was making those noises, and it was just this really high-pitched noise that you would hear throughout our investigations, and particularly in the dressing room. Another thing is they were telling us that our equipment would probably run into some troubles during our investigation, which it did, and I'm glad that we were able to use my audio and video for the investigation, because we're not really sure what happened to Garrett's. I think they tampered with it or something, but the owner was telling us that was a pretty common occurrence for equipment to be tampered with during the investigation. So I got lucky that mine survived, but if we ever get a chance to go there and investigate again, I'll be curious to see what happens to it. But overall, such a cool experience. I really hope that we'll be able to go back there and see if these residents are a little more friendly with us. But overall, super cool experience. I can't wait for you guys to see part 2.
Hey everyone, this is Garrett. Kevin and I just want to make a quick little video between investigations part 1 of the Orpheum and the part 2, which is going to be the actual investigation part of it. just trying to explain to everyone that watches our channel in our videos as far as what happened to us, as far as at the Orpheum, as far as our thoughts, our opinions, and our experiences on it. And so Kevin will have his, which you'll see in the very first part of the video, and now you'll see mine as far as what happened, as far as my thoughts. So we had gotten there around 10 p.m. that night and put all of our stuff into the lobby area as far as all of our gear, and got everything ready. And we were just talking about things overall, and about ready to head out to the actual theater part, as far as to the stage area to start filming, as far as the interview process. And I turn my camera on just to kind of get things ready, and I kid you not, I turn my camera on, and everyone can vouch for this, as far as me, Kevin, Josh, Clint, and Jared, that they even showed it. I even showed it to them on my camera, and it said SD card corrupted. And I was thinking to myself, like, okay, why is this corrupted? This is a brand new SD card and whatnot, and it hasn't been tampered with and whatnot. So I asked them, hey, has this ever happened before, as far as things being corrupted here, equipment being tampered with, stuff like that? And they said, oh yeah, this happens quite often. It's a normal occurrence. And Kevin and Josh and myself look at each other just like, what is going on? This is already happening. We haven't even started the investigation yet. And so I turn my camera off, turn it back on, the one I'm using now, and it seemed fine from what I can able to tell. It didn't show that message again, and that was our first mistake, come to realize. And we started going through the investigation review evidence as far as a day or two later, because we had investigated from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. that whole night, as far as recording and doing things on camera as far as our evidence. And when I started to go through it to try to help edit the video to see what we had captured on playback on evidence review, that all of my audio decided just to go out the window. Nothing recorded. And that was a rookie mistake. Not to say a rookie mistake, but just a normal mistake in general, of not checking or testing anything to make sure that I was going through and everything was fine. And so what you'll see here is from the investigation is all the stuff that's able to be captured on Kevin's camera, because my camera apparently did not capture any sort of audio, and we captured all the video. The video part was fine, no big deal. But it was just crazy to think about, as far as that it was only tampering with my equipment and not Kevin's. And so, which I'll explain here in a second as far as what might be the case. And so we did the interviews, started investigating as far as the whole part of it, and things happened constantly from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. as far as activity wise. We had captured so much stuff that it honestly made our last investigation at the penitentiary look like child's play. It was they were just so active, they were so intelligent with us, giving us direct responses, interacting with our equipment as far as the REM pod, music box, the Estes method, which I'll explain here in a couple seconds here too, and just everything was going on in all sorts of locations, as far as down in the basement, up on the balcony, up on the third floor. As far as the dance room part of it, it was just nuts. And it was a crazy experience. And so we went down to the basement, the very first part of it, went to the dressing rooms, and Clint, who has experienced multiple things there, works there, and has done multiple investigations there. We were all down there in the dressing rooms, and we were getting direct responses as far as from different noises, clarifying that something was there. And even he said that this was not normal. This had never happened to them before. And we were just looking at each other like, okay, well, why now? Why us? And from Jared and Clint's point of view is that the residents there, as far as the spirits who reside there, 24/7, they were basically just trying to say, they're trying to figure us out as far as Kevin, me, and Josh, as far as if we were friend or foe. And so they were trying to give us answers, but they were trying to not necessarily be discreet about it, but trying in a different way that would kind of confuse us. And even Clint was just like, yeah, this is not normal. We had never experienced this before. And so we went to different parts of the basement and captured a lot of things as far as on the EMF readers and whatnot. And we go to different parts of the theater part of it as far as on stage, and we had gotten so much interaction as far as with certain spirits that reside in particular areas there as well as going up to the third floor and having crazy interactions there too. And so, like I said, it was just a crazy experience overall. And one of the crazy parts that I wish we had gotten audio review of is during the Estes method that I did and also Josh did, as far as getting crazy answers that Clint and Jared had not told us at all, that we were getting through the spirit box that I was projecting out towards everybody. And even they were just like, what is going on? We didn't tell these guys nothing as far as who the names were and what was going on before, and it was nuts. And I went under the spirit box first, as far as during the Estes method, went under and was just constantly just saying things that all lined up like perfectly. And they were just like, okay, what is going on? This is not normal. They shouldn't know this. And it was getting to the point at first where I decided to stop and take a break and let Josh try it. That way he can see for himself as far as how it worked, since he has watched our other videos as well. And he went under and nothing happened. Nothing came through on the spirit box for him. He couldn't hear anything. So I went under again, and that's when it went even crazier, because as soon as I went under, they just started talking like this again. And it was getting to the point where I was saying things that it was just starting to get a little too tense, too much. And to the point where I could have possibly been taken over, in this case, from what Clint was saying, that I was possibly being used as a vessel for a certain spirit there that wasn't malicious, that wasn't, or anything. And trying to communicate, basically, like, in the sense that I was the medium, that I was getting basically being a vessel between the spirit world and our world. And they pretty much just had to say, you know what, we have to stop this. And it got to the point where I was saying, no, we want to talk to him or talk with him, meaning me. And I remember on a specific part of it during the Estes method that they mentioned empath, and come to find out after I got pulled under that Clint was saying, okay, well, who's the empath? Can you clarify that, or can you explain that? And they, as far as the spirits through the spirit box came through, and it said, as far as him, which meaning me, I'm just like, come to find out that I'm just like, okay, wait a minute, am I an empath? Did I have some sort of, these more abilities that I don't realize, because I was saying things that I did not even know as far as what happened there. And even Clint was like, okay, this is a little bizarre. You know, he should not know these things as far as what's going on. And to where he had to basically pull me out. And just, yeah, it was one of the most crazier experiences that we had during the assessment. Then I'm just like, that experiment is legit for me anyways. It just is it's a fun experience to do, but also a crazy one to think about, because if you go under for so long, you know, again, things can happen. So that's why you need to have someone there to also kind of help pull you out when needed. And just overall, there was so much interaction. I wish we had captured on my camera as far as audio wise, that it would have been an amazing video 2-part series to show everybody. But unfortunately, we were only able to make it as far as one part, as far as the actual investigation part, but we had to split it up in 2 just to kind of make the video not so long and everything for everybody moving forward. And so again, thank you, Clint, thank you, Jared, especially for allowing us to be there. We had an amazing time. We would love to go back and investigate there, hopefully soon. And hopefully this time, crossing our fingers, that nothing gets tampered with, that we're able to have all the evidence there on our camera and not have anything be tampered with. And so again, everybody, thank you for watching this video. Again, like and subscribe as far as to our channel. We greatly appreciate it. Definitely helps us out. And stay tuned for part 2 of the actual investigation part of the Orpheum. It was a mind trip. It was an amazing experience. Definitely a fun time. And then after that video, we're going to release another video regarding my evidence, and that way people can kind of see as far as what happened as like uncut features, stuff like that. So again, like and subscribe if you haven't already to the channel, and we hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below and be ready for part 2 of the Orpheum, and we hope you like it. Peace.